Hey students, this week we are looking at how organisms get energy and where they get it from and where it goes. So we are going to test a food to see how much energy it has in it. We measure energy by calories, and so we are going to use this simple setup to measure calories of a Cheeto. Okay, so we're going to use what's called a calorimeter. And in this case, what we're going to do is we are going to take 50 milliliters of water. We're going to pour it into this volumetric flask. We're then going to take what we are trying to find the calories of, this Cheeto. We're going to put it on this paper clip, and we are going to set it underneath the volumetric flask, light it on fire, and see how much it raises the temperature of the water in the flask. So to continue with the setup, we want to take this 50 milliliters of water, which I measured from the tap. We're going to pour it into the volumetric flask. All 50 milliliters. Once we get it in there, we want to take the stopper and the temperature probe. This is a temperature probe that is hooked up to a data logger. And we're going to put it into our volumetric flask so that the probe is in the water. Okay, so part of the setup is that we want to be able to put this Cheeto on this paper clip so that we can burn it and it's not on the ground. And then we want to know the mass of the whole thing. So we're going to take the Cheeto and I am going to skewer it onto this paper clip. I'm going to put it in this little pan because safety, you don't want to lose anything and you don't want burning things to fall all over the ground. And then we're going to put it on our digital scale and take the mass of it.
As we can see, the mass of this Cheeto is 56.4 grams.
So there's four pieces of information that we need. We need to know the temperature of the water before we light anything on fire. We need to know the temperature of the water after it's already burned. We need to know the mass of the Cheeto in the paper clip in the pan before we burn anything. And we need to know the mass of the Cheeto in the paper clip in the pan after it's burned. So the next step would be make sure that we have the temperature of the water beforehand, which is 20.3 degrees Celsius. And then we're going to light the Cheeto on fire.
Woo!
Okay, so now it's time to goggle up and light this Cheeto on fire. Make sure you're paying attention to the temperature change. When I light the Cheeto, I want to light it from the bottom and make sure I get it lit all the way around because we really want to get everything burnt to make sure that we are getting an accurate reading on how many calories are in this Cheeto. So we want to have this on here until that Cheeto gets good and going burning before we take our lighter away. All right, I think we're going pretty good here. All right, now our Cheeto's nice and on fire.
There we go. We've got a flaming Cheeto in multiple ways. Flaming hot and flaming. Got to keep looking at our temperature probe here. We can see the temperature is not changing too much, but it is going to get quicker and quicker and higher. So pay attention. Woo, that is a blazing Cheeto.
That is a blazing Cheeto right there. Oop, I'll do that.
Now we can see the temperature is really going.
Really starting to change. We're getting some black buildup on the volumetric flask. Got a large flame. There's some smoke coming out.
And if you were in the classroom, you could smell what we're smelling, which is some serious flaming Cheetos.
Does not smell like Cheeto. All right, we want to let it burn until the flames are completely burned out. And the temperature that we're going to record is the highest temperature it reaches. And so we got to let it keep going up for a while until it stabilizes.
So we can see that the Cheeto is completely out at this point. Now we're just waiting for that temperature to arrive at its final destination.
So you want it to keep increasing until it holds on the same temperature for somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds.
All right, looks like we have it.
54.7 degrees Celsius. The last measurement we need to take is the mass of the Cheeto, the paperclip, and the pan after we've burned it. Put it on our scale. We have 54.7 grams. So there's four numbers that we needed here. We needed the temperature of the water before we burned the Cheeto. We need the temperature of the water after we burned the Cheeto. We need the mass of the water, mass of the Cheeto before we burned it. We need the mass of the Cheeto after we burned it. So using this simple calorimeter setup, we can find the calories in that Cheeto.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Waxell.
No problem.